Hello, this is Eileen, the environmental educator, and today we are going to talk about something that is just truly absurd. But in the world that we live in, where people try to outdo absurd, and then the next person will try to take absurd to an even higher level. This could become a reality. So here we have it, the American Thinker, December 18th, 2022. A New York senator, that means a public servant at a state level, a man who is supposed to be working for the people, proposes a bill to allow residents to sue oil companies for climate negligence. Okay. Okay. Um, as if oil companies are the only people being negligent. Okay, you know who's being negligent? The people who use the oil and demand the oil and want everything that the oil makes that the oil companies get them. How about public servants, that didn't enact actual legislation to get, actual real environmental solutions implemented? And actually, I am not for legislation, okay, because all we actually need is people becoming environmentally literate and then cooperation of people to just lead. Once someone leads, then everyone follows. Okay, and that's all we need. Oh, we don't need legislation. Government is not supposed to rule every moment of your life. Okay, but I mean, if we're talking about who's responsible for the climate negligence, maybe it is not just the world government, which is of course the UN and the Bilderbergs and Klaus Schwab with his World Economic Forum, and all the players, and of course not just national governments like the United States, Canada, New Zealand. That just can't be bothered with solutions. The island president, okay, just can't be bothered with solutions. Absolutely preventing the light years best environmental education and agenda that would have solved our problems long ago, but also all environmental voices that are out there screaming for solutions, and they're all absolute complete fools. They have all proven that they're all beyond incompetent, and they don't have solutions. Not one of them. Not one of them has ever said, "Okay, hey, this is what we got to do." No, no, oh my God, we need solutions. The government. Everybody's blaming the government. So why are we suing oil companies? You know who needs to be sued? These people. How about Gore? Gore doesn't have solutions, and he absolutely is opposed to it. So isn't Redford and Sundance and McKibben and his Got Earth to 400 and Greta and Patagonia, the NRDC, everybody, Bobby Kennedy, everybody won't allow solutions. Okay, but in the world of absurdity that we live in, this Zellnor, Zellnormyrie, um, yeah, proposed legislation that, if passed, would allow Empire State residents to file lawsuits against oil companies accused of, not proven, accused of climate negligence, according to the New York Post. So it awaits review by the Senate Rules Committee, but the thing is we live in a world where just absurd gets put into place, and then more absurd has to outdo it, and then we just keep trying to outdo it. And so he said the fossil fuel, his message to the fossil fuel industry is simple: you will be held accountable for the damage you caused to New York's environment. Oh, okay. Well, maybe it's not just the oil company, it's the people that are using the oil. Okay? These oil companies, I've said it a gazillion times before, and it's true, they only get oil that consumers demand. And, and that governments at all level, federal, state, county, and town allow. There is nothing that oil companies are doing that is illegal. They have never been ordered to stop. They have never been found guilty, just accused, not found guilty of anything. And they're not guilty. What about the lack of New York's government of actually getting its citizens to lead and actually being responsible in the world to lead? How about there? They're responsible, but this is just ridiculousness that the public will get behind because the oil companies are bad because people just regurgitate ridiculousness. But um, everybody wants just easy. Personal responsibility, you tell the individual, then give up your oil. Like right here, this article says, of course, it's widely hypocritical. The Senator Myrie, M-Y-R-I-E, would never give up everything that fossil fuels, abundant and expensive energy have bequeathed him. He isn't going to neglect to heat his home in the winter or use air conditioning in the summer. He isn't going to pledge to give up using all the petroleum related products. He isn't going to give up traveling by air. He isn't going to refuse to be driven around in limos or SUVs, and he's not going to pledge to travel only on foot or bicycle, right? Again, right here, he's the problem. The individuals who want everything oil and right aren't going to give up anything. You can't even get people to be responsible and turn off unused electricity. Well, I mean, that is up until the current economic conditions that are going around where people are having a tough time affording food and affording their electric bill. So they are turning off that unused electricity. But we've been decades where telling people like, hey, all you have to do is turn off your electricity is just the most annoying thing to people because they can afford their electric bill. So finally, because people can't afford their electric bill, they're turning it off and finding out how easy it is to do. But until that financial burden got placed on them, they could care less. And why is that? Very much because, there's no leadership by example. Like, suppose we actually had the state, going out there and leading and putting in real solutions. And then with all their, PSAs, public service announcements, telling people, just encouraging people, getting it part of daily conversation, getting it part so people do it at work, and then maybe people go home and go, okay, I can do it too, I guess. Like, okay. I mean, you're always going to have the obstinate people. I'm not going to do it, man. I don't have to. I'm an American. I'm gonna turn on twice as many lights. You're always going to have those people. But you could get the masses to live responsibly. But where's this guy doing it? Nowhere. Nowhere. But he wants to take the easy route, and it's the oil company's fault. I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous. But we live in a world full of ridiculous, and so this could, actually pass a whole full of a whole climate legislative branch, public servants, um, gonna let their constituents know they're on their side, right? It's the oil companies that are bad. No, it's everybody that's bad. And way worse than the oil companies is every fraudulent environmental voice out there who's screaming for solutions, saying how dire the situation is, has no solutions, and won't allow solutions, right? I mean, shut up, Gore. Go away, you preventing solutions fraud. Listening to you drives people to drink. I mean, it's true. And Al Gore, should be being sued. Robert Redford should be, the NRDC, Bill McKibben, Barack, the White House, the United States Congress, every person who is beyond abusive. I mean, it's ridiculous. So why don't we just, cut to the ridiculousness, forget the lawsuits and a court system that's already overburdened, and why don't we just get on solutions? Oh, that's never going to happen, right? Because people like this fool, this public servant, would be outraged if I presented it to him, her, whatever Zelnor is. So stay tuned, people.